I'm Gnosis. Welcome to your daily tarot reading for January the 26th, 21. First card is the Four of Swords. Second card is the Nine of Swords. Third card is the King of Wands. Fourth card, Knight of Swords. And the fifth card is the Hierophant. Lots of swords in your reading today. A Four of Swords, meditation, rest, contemplation. With the Nine of Swords hot on its heels in your consciousness. So that's interesting that on the one hand, your present situation is typified by rest, meditation. That's the actual situation. But in your mind, your consciousness, we have nightmares, we have anxiety, we have stress. So reality is saying one thing, your mind is saying something different. So let's see if we can't get to the bottom of this mismatch. Why are you stressed when you ought to be resting? Well, here in your unconscious, we have the King of Wands. I always think of the King of Wands as being the entrepreneurial court card. This is the card of plans coming to fruition and manifested achievement. So perhaps you feel that you're not achieving everything that you feel you ought to be. Perhaps you're being hard on yourself and you have achieved more than your expectations tell you that you have. Swords are connected with ideas, a frame through which we view the world. And of course you have another sword here in the Knight of Swords, your near future consciousness. Knight of Swords signifies speed, hurry, sometimes recklessness. So an idea that you ought to be meditating on, that you ought to be turning over, brainstorming in your mind, is being manifested in your life through stress and recklessness. And it's unnecessary, because if you are represented by the King of Wands here, then you have everything under control. But I think perhaps you feel that you don't. And this situation doesn't just affect you. In your last position, you have the Hierophant. The Hierophant deals with tradition, with orthodoxy, but in particular group orthodoxy, group traditions. So perhaps this reading is saying that you're only thinking of yourself, you're not thinking about the impact that your actions are going to have on those around you, on the people you care about. Perhaps you have not taken into consideration how this plan will be perceived by others. Perhaps people close to you, people you work with, or people in wider society. So I think oftentimes your first card in a reading, in this instance the Four of Swords, gives you the key to solving the problem presented by a spread. And I think that's the case here. Both the Hierophant and the Four of Swords are connected with teaching. They're connected with meditation and learning. So it's interesting that you have them juxtaposed here at the beginning and end of your reading. So the Nine of Swords is telling us not to worry. The Knight of Swords is telling us not to rush. We might be doubting it, but perhaps we are as in control as the King of Wands is, and we're unduly stressing ourselves for a fixed idea. So that's your daily tarot reading for the 26th of January 2021. I'm Gnosis. Please join me for more tarot readings.